Hello, it's me again, and today I'm gonna present the resources I have to learn Swedish. First of all, I have this typical counterfeit teach yourself here, as you can see. Unfortunately, I'm a poor guy, it's not an original one, but I'm gonna show you guys something about this teach yourself because I like it. It's a feature this teach yourself has. Every unit as some sort of a phrasebook, a small phrasebook, not a phrasebook. It's a lot of useful expressions after the dialogues, as you can see here. Pretty useful, related to the subject of the chapter. It's pretty useful. And now I'm gonna show you something else that I believe it's very useful too. It's Teach Yourself Swedish Conversations. They have bilingual dialogues here. So let's see, you can see this, bilingual dialogues in English and in Swedish. It also has audio, pretty good. I believe this is level 2, but it is good because sometimes we study and we skip something. We forgot some easy things, you see. Sometimes we forgot some easier expressions, just about asking how much is it, about asking, hello, how much do you have, how many do you have, something like that. And then it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And now, also about those kinds of resources, I'm actually studying with colloquial Swedish. Unfortunately, I have it only on PDF. It's on the iPad that's recording now the video, so I can show you guys. Colloquial Swedish, I like it too, because when I study Teach Yourself Swedish, I studied this a little bit bad. But the audio I have for this is not very good, so now I'm using colloquial Swedish to study. The audio is good, I like the course, I'm revising stuff, and also learning, because there were a lot of things that I forgot. So you got Teach Yourself Swedish Conversation, and if you guys could take a look at colloquial Swedish, that will be okay too. Now, grammar. I have a pretty good grammar, it's only on PDF too. Swedish, an essential grammar. You guys should check that out because it's a pretty good grammar. But I also have this essential Swedish grammar here, which is a small book. It's a small book, but it covers most of the most important grammar, the most important Swedish grammar. So let's take a look inside. You see here verbs and verbal tenses, a lot of verbs and verbal tenses here. So what else do you see here? You see a lot of stuff. You see the neuter, the forms of the adjectives, the N-words and the at-words, stuff like that. How do they work generally? It has a lot of everything. It's a pretty good stuff. It's a pretty good book. I like it a lot. I believe that if you don't have the time to study harder, with this you can get a clue of the Swedish grammar. So if you don't have if you can't get Swedish and essential grammar, make sure you get Teach Yourself Swedish and this grammar here. It's good. It's a really good book. Now let's move on to phrase books. So I have this pretty good. I love this. It's a very good phrase book indeed. This Swedish phrase book here, Berlit. It's okay, it's nice, and it's beautiful too. It's a beautiful phrase book. It's very useful, pretty nice. And then I have this one here in Spanish. Those are the same phrase books, the exact same phrase books that I have for Finnish. This phrase book has a little bit of grammar at the beginning. Has a little bit of grammar. Just like every phrase book, it has a small dictionary at the end. And the special feature of this phrase book that I like it is that it focuses more on words and words and words than necessarily on a lot of phrases and more phrases and more phrases. They're everywhere. Check this out, for instance. An whole page of vocabulary. That's good, because when you finish studying a course, for instance, Teach Yourself, you Unless you're a genius, you can forget about some words, and then with this you can revise them pretty easily. And now I have only my dictionary. I was forgetting about the dictionary. I have this small dictionary here, Swedish Portuguese, Portuguese Swedish dictionary. It's small, but it's pretty good. Don't judge a book by the cover. It's one of the best, if not the best, Portuguese editorials, Porta Editora. It's pretty good stuff here. And now, I have this second-hand book that I bought in Finland. Here, €1, I believe. It's all in Swedish. When I've mastered my Swedish, I intend to read a little bit, to try to understand, not exactly to translate everything, but at least some words, to see if I can translate, to see if I can understand. You guys should get at least one reading book like that. If you go to Finland, for instance, they sell those things pretty cheaper. They're pretty cheap. So that's it for Swedish resources. See you guys then now.